Welcome to my channel. My name is Yanika, and this is my coming out story. I wanted to let the community know that I am experiencing infertility. I was diagnosed a few years ago and wanted to start sharing my story on my YouTube channel. I currently only have one other video, which is the save the date video. And God has been putting it on my heart to start telling others of my story or our story to start a family. I realized that infertility is not an easy journey. I have received a lot of support from a lot of other YouTube sisters and basically only communicate in the comments. So I thought about starting this channel for a few years now, and I just never got the courage to do it. So today's the day. Our journey started in 2012. Very not knowledgeable in the infertility world at all. I never thought that this was something that I would be sharing on YouTube, but my boyfriend and I at the time were not trying but not preventing pregnancy, and we ended up pregnant in 2012 of February. I was still in college at the time. I was probably about 5 or 6 weeks when I started spotting after my home pregnancy test came back positive. I went to my OBGYN. She started checking my HCG levels, and they were not doubling as they should. And because I was spotting, she let me know that I would probably be experiencing a miscarriage, and I did. A couple months went by. In December of that same year, we ended up pregnant again. So, of course, my husband and I were very devastated from the loss of the first pregnancy, and we were also very excited. We didn't know what to expect. About 8 weeks in, we had our first visit with our OBGYN, and she did not see anything on ultrasound. She let me know I probably was just a little early and not to worry. She did take blood, and the next morning she called letting me know I possibly could experience and would be experiencing an ectopic pregnancy. I was rushed to the hospital. Another ultrasound was performed. Nothing was showing up on the ultrasound, which meant that it was definitely ectopic due to how high my HCG levels were at 8 weeks. So at that time, my right tube was removed. It was not able to be repaired with surgery. So I currently have my left tube, and the doctor at the time told my husband, well, my boyfriend at that time, that I probably needed to have an HSG done to make sure that the left tube was open because it didn't look too good. So the OBGYN that I was seeing did refer me to a surgery center to have an HSG done. The dye did spill out of my tube, so the surgery center said my tube is open. I have no worries, no issues, that I can continue to try. It just may take a little bit longer than normal. So I was very grateful, to hear that news because, again, we didn't have any information, any knowledge on infertility, what it is, the cause of it. And so I just knew that I had one tube and it may be a little longer before I would conceive. We weren't married at the time, so it wasn't something that we pursued. However, we were not preventing pregnancy. So I ended up pregnant again in December of 2013. At that time, we were engaged, and around the same 8-week mark, I started to spot this time, and I went in to visit my OBGYN. She was saying the same thing. Nothing was showing up on my ultrasound. My HCG levels were coming back pretty high, and that she thought that I would be experiencing another ectopic pregnancy. So she recommended that I have a D&C, and I was also given a shot with that pregnancy, my previous pregnancy. I cannot remember the name of the shot. It starts with the M, but basically it's like a shot that you receive in your butt to basically miscarry whatever you have in your body. So even though my tube was removed in my first ectopic and I had a DNC in my second ectopic, this shot was still given to me to make sure that everything that was in my fallopian tube basically, came out. So I was recommended not to conceive for 3 months after, and I didn't because we were not ready to have kids. I was very distraught at the time, and we ended up getting married. And a month after being married, we found out that we were expecting again in November of 2014. Again, my husband and I were very excited but very nervous. I didn't know what to expect, and unfortunately that ended in a chemical pregnancy. About 5 weeks in, I started to spot, and my body naturally miscarried with the flow that I had. So I didn't have any DNC or anything performed at that point, and I was referred to a RE from my OBGYN. I went to the RE and was prescribed medication like Clomid to basically help me get pregnant faster. I didn't take the medicine. I didn't fulfill my prescription because I didn't feel that I needed to take medications to get pregnant. I was getting pregnant just fine. So I asked for him to perform a HSG, and he did it himself and determined that my tube is open, but it's not open normal. Basically your tube is, he explained it like a flower at the end, and it allows for the egg to pass through once it has met with the sperm, and it allows it to travel to your uterus. Well, mine has a narrow opening, so he didn't recommend that we try to conceive naturally because he said it would probably most likely end in another ectopic or my body would naturally miscarry. So at that point in 2014, we were not ready to go through with IVF. We had to save, and we had a lot of other things going on, and I just didn't feel in my heart that that was the time. So we continued to try. We did not get pregnant. So 2 years later in 2016 is when we started to start our IVF procedure. I went in December of 2016 to start stemming, and January of 2017 I had my egg retrieval. When I went in for my egg retrieval, my body had already ovulated, so there was no eggs there for the RE or the surgeon to retrieve, and I was devastated again. I didn't understand how I ovulated despite on being on Ganirelix. I took Ganirelix, Menopur, and Gano-F for about 2 weeks, only 3 days of the Ganirelix. And my RE said that he had never seen that before in all of the years of practicing. Of course, it was deemed as a failed cycle, and we would have to go through another cycle to get our eggs retrieved to start IVF again. So that is currently where I am in our journey. We are waiting for cycle day 1 so that I can start birth control, and then I'll start stemming again. My husband and I feel like this is the way to start our family. Mentally, I have accepted that this may be my only way, although I still have my left fallopian tube. And we have just experienced another loss. After that egg retrieval, I never got my cycle, so I took a pregnancy test, and it came back positive. Unfortunately, our RE deemed that as well as a chemical pregnancy. I don't know when it happened, so he wasn't able to tell how far I was. He did check my HCG levels. It started off at about 50, 55. It never rose, and I started spotting. So instead of getting my cycle 5 days after the egg retrieval, which is normally when you'll get your cycle, it took me a month to get my cycle because I was pregnant and I didn't realize it. So my body naturally miscarried. I didn't have to receive any medication or DNC or anything at that for that pregnancy either. And so I am pretty confident that we do need to have IVF. And I plan on recording and documenting the second cycle, as I didn't upload the first cycle. And I would like to make other videos about how I'm dealing with infertility, ways to cope with it, ways to pay for it, and just be supportive, because again, I know what it's like to not have a lot of people to talk to and to come and show support to other women. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will talk to you soon.